the elected district leader of this community, but I also come here as a friend and as a cricketer who's known Paps since 1994. And for you to understand who Paps is, you have to understand a little bit of the history that I shared with him from 1994. In 1994, he had the Caribbean Softball Association, and that consisted of Paps, Danny Badram, Sean Samaru, and Bobby Rupi. But Paps was the most popular. As was said, Paps always found a way of reconciliation, whereas the Caribbean Softball other executives ran it like a military institution. So Pap felt that he had to bring more humanity to it, and they wanted to put him out. But Paps, with the zeal and the determination that has defined his life, he formed his own league, and he formed a better league, and he formed a league that had over 100 teams. And he took over softball as the father of softball cricket. And that is his legacy, because he institutionalized the game to such an extent that it became a fixture in New York. It became part of history. And he has embellished himself in the history of New York. And Paps Rabindranauth Sharma has made his name in such a way that when the history of our community is written, we must give him credit for what he has done. And that is his legacy. But like I said, he was also a father. And he had a heart attack many years ago, and I used to worry about him and said, "You got young children. What's going to happen to you, Paps?" But Paps batted on, bravely, as I was telling his son, Ravi. Ravi's now 30. And that was a well-played innings for Paps, because Ravi was just in his teens. But Paps made sure that he stood at the wicket and defended that innings and made his runs. And took his son over 30, he is an adult. So these are the things of virtue, of determination, the virtue of home, of family, of love, dignity and respect that Paps has shown us. That is what he has taught us. He was a very simple man. He was not lettered like a lawyer, doctors, many of us are. But he knew more. He was able to counsel people with great education, because he had the grassroots. He had this instinctive sense of making things right, of working things out. That was his gift. And then we had other softball leagues, and I see Eric Ferrier here. They've also run a very good league, and many other cricketers and cricket officials. The fact that there are so many of us here today is testimony to the fact that Pappy Sharma made this an institution. And he made this also as a father. He has made us all proud. And perhaps as a father and as a cricketer and as a person who, for this community, I would have been remiss if I didn't come and pay respect to him, both as a friend, both as a counselor who spoke many times to him, both as a person who worked with him in many aspects of life concerning cricket, and also both as someone who knew that he always felt. We heard the other speaker, Chins, talked about how he found ways to make everybody happy. He was not a totalitarian. He was a man always open to suggestion. And he evolved the game of cricket to such an extent. And cricket is part of life. Cricket is not an ordinary thing. Cricket is part of the fabric of our existence. And he has helped a lot of people away from being in rum shops and getting into trouble, because every Sunday they look forward to going and playing cricket. Keep you out of trouble. Keep you fit. And up to today, I still play. And I'm in my 60s now. But that is a legacy that Paps has left. He always had a competition. And he it was over 35. Then he had over 45. Then he had over 50. Then he had over 60. Then he had over 65 coming up. So he was able to keep the game alive and keep love alive in this community. And Paps, we wish you all the best. We know that you will walk well. You have played a wonderful innings. As cricketers say, well batted. And I know that you have left a legacy in your kids. You now, Ravi, and the other Vivek, you now have to carry the torch that your father instilled in you. You have got to take it to a higher level, and you've got to stand up for what your dad stood for. Because as a simple, humble man who ran a cricket league from his dining room. When his daughters are here also, and I want to pay tribute to you also. You come from a wonderful family. Your father's a great man. He was able to run a cricket league from his dining room, without the phone, without the car. I don't think Paps ever had a car. I don't think he ever had a car. But he was able to put together the best competitions. But he always had a good right hand there, David Supu. See that man standing there? He was his right arm. And David Supu and Chin and Tiram Niranjan and Bobby Rupi, these are the folks who stood with Paps, stood with him to the end of his days. And I'm so happy that he was never out of the league, that he takes the grace of the league with him. And there never came a time, because that was so close to him, he never ever wanted to give it up. And I can understand when you have fathered something, when that is part of you, why you would be reluctant to give it up. And I can understand very well why. But now we go to higher heights of society, as both my brother, Dr. Philip Baldeo, and myself. I've had many great times with him. I miss him truly. We had a few beers in the park. We would, have a nice time together where we would talk a lot of things, just like he would with all of you. But to his legacy and to his greatness, we thank him for a life so well lived, that is an example for this community, for others to follow, and for us to remember a legend of a man. Pappy Sharma, called Paps, is not a man that we will ever forget. And may God bless his soul as he goes to the great beyond. Thank you very much, brothers and sisters.
Thank you, brother.